This video is going to be about ELP stalls. Like all of our stalls, the ELP stall starts with the 3 C's, right? So get your checklist, your config, your checklist, and your clear. Okay. After that, so the checklist, your pre-stall spin, aerobatics checklist, your configuration, you're going to be clean, 125 knots, floating or gliding to high key, and clear, obviously clear the area. So here we are. Let's say I give it to you 200 knots. Get your zoom glide, capture 125 knots, and then trim the aircraft off, okay? Trim it for 125. I'm probably going to make you put your hands in the air and show me that it is trimmed off at 125 before I allow you to continue. All this time we're going to be descending, right? So 125 knots, and then whenever you're ready, I'll say you're at high key. When you're at high key, we're going to drop the gear. We're going to initiate our turn, and we are going to call high key. So you'll be at high key. You'll start your turn. Below 150, gear clear. Red Knight 123, high key, runway 10. Whatever, as we're starting down, continuing our turn. Okay. Before land checklist, defog off, engine instruments check, gear down, down, brakes check, holding at the flaps. Okay. At this point, we are going to simulate that you've gotten distracted. You can increase the bank angle. You're going to pull the nose to 5 to 10 degrees nose high until you reach the stick shaker. Just hold it at 5 to 10 degrees nose high. The nose will, you'll need to increase backstick pressure as the airspeed decays, and then once you get that stick shaker, you want to push the nose back down, set it to the prop arc on the horizon. Okay, so what that's going to look like is you'll have your canopy, and you'll have your horizon will be pretty far up there. You'll just see kind of like the whirl of the prop arc. Obviously, you can't see down here because that's instrument panels and stuff, but you'll just see like the whir of the prop arc, and just set that on the horizon right there. If you cross-check on your MFD, it'll be about 8 degrees nose low, okay? And that's a cross-check. Use your visual maneuvers as your primary. Okay, so your airspeed's going to start building up at that point. Once you are at 120, then you want to capture 120. Okay, so then bring the nose back up, capture 120, retrim it for 120, and the maneuver is complete once you have retrimmed it and recaptured 120 knots. So what the book says for this as well is you'll lose about 1 to 2,000 feet just in this setup here, okay? Let's plan for worst case, 2,000 feet. And you'll plan to lose another 1,500 feet in actually performing the maneuver. So together, that's 3,500 feet you need, right? We want to make sure that we have the maneuver completed by 6,000 feet, right? So make sure you start it at a minimum of 9,500 feet then, and by a minimum, okay, so that's the top if we're in Area 1. Obviously, if you start like that when we were in the South MOA or the North MOA, something like that, you would bust out the bottom of the block. All right, so you need to, one, keep an eye on that 6,000 feet absolute minimum to complete the stall, and you also need to keep an eye on the bottom of your block. So 3,500 feet above the bottom of your block at least as well, okay? So the maneuver is complete once you have recaptured and retrimmed at 120, okay? But make sure you do not bust the bottom of the block, and if you need to terminate the maneuver early to prevent doing that, then that's what you need to do, okay? And as always, let me know if you have any questions.